does each person on this beautiful planet of ours share in common? It's a lot of people to share in common. One or two things, right? Well, I can think of two specific things. Let's talk about it. My name is Alexi Rosas, and we're going to talk about the journey of a lifetime. There are two things that each of us is guaranteed in this life. We are guaranteed that we are born and that we will die. Now, that might sound a little morbid, and maybe it is, but we're going to focus on this. We're going to hone in on the human experience and our commonalities. I was lucky enough to interview quite a few groups, starting from elementary all the way into golden years, and ask some questions. It was interesting to see the things that we share in common in each of these life stages. We're going to, for the sake of ease, we're going to put this into increments of 20-year time spans. All right, let's get started. Here we see that we're going to talk about these common milestones through the lens of these increments. Our 20s and 30s, our 40s and 50s, 60s through 80s. And of course, we're going to look at how all of these accomplishments and preparation for our graduation to the other side of the veil bless our lives. Let's start with our first, which is our beginning and birth. From birth to 19, the first thing we have to celebrate is that we're born. Yay! That's a wonderful thing. We grow to school age. Now, those years can look different from each person. From 0 to 5, some children stay home with their parents and are taught life lessons by them. Some attend preschool starting at 2 or 3. Others begin preschool and continue on with education, but it might be a more home-based preschool that's done in a co-op. Each of us, however, does begin an educational pursuit. We begin at 5 into our milestones from 5 to 19. Now, according to lawyers.com, all 50 states have an age range of when children must begin and finish school. These ages vary from state to state, so it's always best practice to check with your specific state to know what those are. It's necessary that children will start from 5 to 8 approximately in most states, and they finish from 16 to 19. There are some circumstances where that can be altered if parental consent is given, and that's usually for very specific circumstances that are extenuating. That often dictates what happens for most people in the first 2 decades of their lives. So let's look at the next couple of decades, our 20s through our 30s. These are the years we're building our foundations. Common possible life events when building our foundations are the furthering of our education through college or formalized and specific training, technical skills, or in our culture, in our church, a mission. That can be followed by serious dating to find a spouse. That could lead to marriage or perhaps professional career endeavors that are pursued very seriously. We also strive for permanence in living environments, such as purchasing a home where we will find ourselves letting down some roots. We also, in some cases, experience the birth and growth of our own children. And then we raise these young children into adulthood. Another thing that is common during these years is travel, whether it be due to career or personal. Our 40s through our 50s is our next chunk of time that we'll be looking at, and those are the years that we're deepening our roots. How we've grown will depend on how those roots are growing. So as we progress through life, many common events of those that were polled shared that there was career progression and evolution. There were familial growth into future generations, perhaps grandchildren. There was a possible downsizing that was found in many people's homes. There was also a possible need for caring for aging parents and grandparents. and possible passing of natal families, those that you were born into. Our 60s through our 80s are known as the golden years, and in those years, many retire or travel or see the continuation of grandchildren and great grandchildren. There's also a focus on the end of life preparations, possible health concerns due to aging, and as we've been so lovingly taught by our prophet, there's a graduation to the other side of the veil at the end of all of our journeys here on earth. In summary, we are the culmination of a lifetime of our choices.